and today, as promised, I am doing a Planet Coaster stream. Now, within my channel, I have done many tutorial videos based on this park, so I thought I would revisit Frozen Fantasialand. Now, first up, this was when I was creating letters before I used my tutorial of a screen, and in fact, I think if I zoom out, yep, we still have it here. So Frozen and Fantasialand as part of the text tutorial that I'd done, which is you put in a big ass screen, so that's a projection screen, 32 meters, with the text that you want to display. So you create a separate file, save it as a picture, and then load it as the image in the screen. And then what you can do is you can place the pieces over the top so you get the perfect font with the correct spacing and everything else. And of course, what you can do is you can then group select all of this, move it around, and dump it wherever you want, whether that's vertical, flat, or however you choose to do it. Now, this was entered into a few different things for the publishers. I got some recognition for my Christmas markets. So let's go and have a look at the entrance to the park. So we come through this nice little entrance here with Frozen Fantasialand and the festive music playing. All is royalty-free festive music, so it can be playing in the background without any copyright issues. Hey. So here we have the Christmas market in the entrance place. And go around here, so there we go, there's a nice little stand, you know, all the Christmas trees and candy. Got a nice gingerbread house here. And then the toilets again. We have the Christmas theming on the buildings, just giving it that nice festive feel, even though, of course, Christmas is now behind us. Now, one of the other things I did for this part, which we will go and show you in a moment, is a map. But let's have a look at the other side. So here's our Hats Fantastic in a nice brickwork building, Cosmic Cow, and some Hot Dog Squad. And, of course, then the other various shops that everyone can visit. So it's a nice entrance plaza for the park. So your first stop on the tour is going to be the nice carousel, so family friendly ride as you come into the park. And as we go in here, we can see this map. Now, so to create this, what I done was I zoomed out and above the park as high as I possibly could, took an image with my NVIDIA graphics card, then went to Photoshop, and then began editing the image and layering it off so that you've got the Frozen Fantasialand with the frost at the corners to give it that nice wintry look, and again on the bottom corners as well, along with all the rides that are currently in the park. Now, this does need to be updated slightly because over here, as you can see, new for 2017. And I still never finished it, and in fact I do believe I've put a River Rapids ride in that I also haven't finished. So let's take a further look around my creation. So we have a big wheel here, a bit of some carolers down here, and then as you progress through, you've got the candy canes lining the queue for the dodgems, as well as some further Christmassy theming as we go through. It's all important to get the theming so that your approval is good, so 85%, so queue scenery rating is quite good for the ride. And then we come back out. And of course, we have another park sign there letting people know where you are. And we also have a cash machine building here with some snow generators. Now that's a prefab building from memory, as is the first aid. I think I just added the first aid signs outside. Nice little buildings here. And this is as we go up to, what did I call this? Yes, we have a custom sign here for the ride as well. So as we zoom in, it's Ice Blast. And I took various images and I stitched those together and then created the image for the ride. So it has a custom ride sign. So here we go. We have the Fast Pass queue and we have the standard queue that goes through and round. Let's see if we can hitch a ride quickly. Okay, so we're coming into the station. Let's see if we can skip to the next train. Let's go to train 2. Here we go, Lift Hill. And I shall remain silent. Nice that you can hear the Christmas music in the background as you're about to ride Ice Blast. And here we go for the first drop, and I'll let you enjoy. And there you have it. So that is Ice Blast. Let's get rid of the additional tips and things that are popping up here. So that's the first roller coaster that you access as you come into the park. Now we did also skip the monorail station, I do believe. Did I create a path going round? Yes, I did. Okay, with a further map here. So we also have the tower, so you can go up for a nice view of the park when you come in. So right up there, an astronomically high height. And of course your first station, which I do believe is called the Frozen Beginning. Yes, very popular, as you can see. The queue is very packed out. Custom station, so I built this from scratch. And as we go inside the station, so let's adjust the camera and get down to the right angle. Come out a little bit and through. You can see I also floored it out as well, which is fairly important as you're doing it. There we go, train's ready to load up with passengers. So nice little custom station. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to where we were, which I do believe was here. That's it. Oh, the thief's been caught. Lovely. So we have Frozen Peak, which... Did I call this ride Frozen Peak? No, this was Freeze Loop. So this is an advertising sign for another one of the rides further on in the park. So if we go and have a quick look at the map, let's see where Frozen Peak is. So Frozen Peak is, let's go through, Frozen Peak is ride number 14, so 13, 14, Frozen Peak is here. And this is a blueprint in the workshop as well, so a few of these are, so do feel free to subscribe to my channel and go to my workshop. The workshop items are listed on all my other videos that show how I make these rides. So we also now have the traditional, family ride, which is apparently, oh no, building 35. There we go, Santa's sleigh ride. So let's see if we can go for a ride on this as well. Oh, right at the beginning, how handy. There we go, through nice slow snow-filled tunnels. Again with the lighting. I find the best thing to do with the lighting is to bury it slightly underground so it can't be seen, but it still gives the effect. Some nice carol singing there in the background as we go around Santa's sleigh ride. Back down, some more snow. Again, buried so you can't see where it's coming from. Around we come. Into a nice little custom gingerbread house that I made. Obviously with different bits and pieces in there. Oh, just decided to skip carriages there, and there we are at the end of the ride. So simple, small and effective, 100% there for the scenery rating. So let's keep going. Oh, North Wind's broken down. How handy. That's one of my better coasters. So I dropped this in when this came out. Of course, this ride was released some time ago now. And I put that next to, which still hasn't had the sign finished. So, Snowstorm. So obviously you need to put some custom imagery and text there. You can see this ride hasn't been finished. So I've started the theming on here, but never finished. And again, the theming and scenery on here is also a little light, although it still has 100% for the queue. Now here we have a mountain off to the side, so as you can see there's like different buildings up and around it and the trees. And we go around to the back of the park. Now here, this is another ride which I'm in the process, as you can see, of theming, so you've got the festive stuff around it. and carry on. And we've got a nice little teacup ride here with lots of gingerbread and housing theming around the edge to give it that bit of decorative theming, as well as a small shop here. Now, the river rapids, I've done a chunk of the theming on this, so as you can see, fairly simple. Drop, rapids, second drop up inside the mountain. I won't go around because these rides, as you well know, are slow and take ages. Big drop into a turn to give that spin force, and then back round, another drop and back into the station. And on the scenery side, I've put a couple of castles that are connected by a path. So there we go, you can see the path going through the forest, and that's then the gateway, and then that path then filters down to the rocks that I've built up around here for the theming. So carry on. Now we're going to come across another one of my popular blueprints on the workshop shortly, but here's another ride here, again with some fairly simple theming for this. Just some rocks basically, well positioned, and that's Snow Slammer. And then we carry on. We come to a little Christmas market here, not as big as the first one, but a few bits and pieces and shops there. And here we have Glacier Drifter, which is on my workshop. And again, this is a fully themed ride. Now, to do this, you have to disable within the settings collisions with tracks and items, so that you can place these pieces within the ride itself to give it that nice look. So as you can see, you've got the snow and the trees and everything around it. Somebody has done another version of this with a higher degree of scenery around it, but I do believe I was one of the first people to publish this ride into the workshop with similar kind of theming. And we have the next monorail station. So we have the North Pole. Again, a custom station that I built from scratch. So nice, and this was before we had glass, so I used the limited glass pieces that we had at the time to theme the inside, gave it a wooden floor inside the station, and a bit of an effective outside part of the building, and kind of a frosted garden there as well. And here we have another one of the rides that is within my workshop as well, so Santa's Spin. Some light theming. It's not a huge over-the-top amount of theming on this, but it's enough to make the ride look pleasant and make those peeps happy as they go for a spin. A toilet block here with the map again on the side of the building, and we have a covered Christmas market here with some snow on the roof. So let's go inside. There we go. As you can see, we've got some nice seating under cover, and you've got a gulpy there. You've got some frites, and go around the other side. There at the front is your Mr. Beef. Now we carry on going through, and here we come to Ice Blast. Now this is a heavily themed ride. I did spend a lot of time theming this, so Frozen Peak. Here we go. So again, we have the whole encampment here in the queue, the building itself, base station. You've got the stuff off to the sides of the queue, and then we go through to the ride itself. Now let's see if we can get on. Right, so let's skip, 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 skip. Is anyone going, or are we broken down? I think we're broken down. That's a shame. So Frozen Peak is currently broken down by the looks of it. We haven't got anything going round. That's a shame. Okay, well I'm sure the mechanics will be on it shortly. But as you can see, you have the initial climb. Then as you get to the top, danger, no turning back. You've got the animated items, so all the explosions happen. Then I've done an in-mountain corkscrew at the back, which then pops out at the back here, drops round through an archway, through a second archway, down into the only piece of water of the track, dropping down with "You survived Frozen Peak, congratulations, welcome back." Now we have the North Wind, which is a suspended coaster, which is my favourite type of roller coaster, again with a lot of theming on this one. So we have the whole castle. So we have the North Wind on the outside. We have the core custom text on the inside as well for the North Wind, along with the festive lighting and the path going through. And she's just going off, so let's see if we can ride. Here we go. I'll be quiet and let you enjoy the North Wind. And here we go for the second hill climb. And down to the end of the ride. Okay, so that is the North Wind. It's a big suspended coaster, as you can see. Lots of theming around. There's bits that you don't even notice as you're flying around, so there's like a gypsy encampment. But again, all these rocks that it goes around. So you've got the blue area with the snow generators here. And then you've got some tight loops around the scenery. Obviously, the scenery was built up after I'd created the ride, which allows you to create these tight areas where you feel you're going to smash into the rocks, which always creates that added bit of excitement. Then round to the second chain lift, there was some brake blocks there at the front, if you notice, to slow the cars down. And then you have a loop, a helix loop, and then it drops back through underground into another tunnel and back to the castle for the station, with the exit walking round outside. Now, from memory, I think I may have done a bit of theming in here as well. So let's have a look. Did I? Let's go through the walls. No, I just put the candles on the walls and then the archway for the exit. So not a huge amount of theming inside, really. So just the lighting and the high ceiling. In fact, it's quite bereft of scenery in there, really, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, so we only have a couple of rides left in this park to have a look at. Guess think multiple rides are great value, always good to know. So this back area of the park is completely empty, as you can see. So we've got Winter Storm. Again, I built this up with lighting and rocks. So as it goes up, it looks like you're kind of in a cave kind of thing, again with the festive decorations on the outside. And then finally the last ride, which is also in testing. Okay, so let's close it, put it back into testing, and go for a ride. Do love a good runaway mine train. As you can see, there's some intersecting track there as well, underground. And there we go, that is Snow Plunge. Now, I don't know if you noticed as the track was going round, again, nice little custom sign there for Snow Plunge. A nice bit of Photoshop and a couple of images. So we've got the castle at the top. Now, the idea for here is, although that's some scenery has been put in, and the water tower here is to potentially have some ride trigger events here. Not entirely sure what yet. But also here, I don't know whether anyone noticed, but as you drop down this steep decline here, you also have what looks like a train coming out to like crash into you as you go on this drop. So it looks like it should have been the track, and then you drop down below. So that was a bit of an idea I had as I was theming it. Again, tight in with the terrain editing, and nice initial incline, of course. And then we have a second castle here that I have with, well, not a second castle, it's the only castle. That's just a hut. But yeah, nice castle at the top, and some simple lighting. Now, drop down, as you can see, the station building I've kind of done, but at the same time it's nowhere near finished. There's no exterior decoration, the track base is still exposed, so again, work in progress. There's a lot of stuff to be added around here as well. But this is Frozen Fantasialand. So that's my quick whistle-stop tour of Frozen Fantasialand. Now what I will do, because I'm not entirely sure what people want to see, so do comment on this video if you'd like me to do any theming workshops or building workshops, stuff like that that's already on my, or go to my tutorials. There's plenty there for you to look at to give you an idea of how to accomplish different things within Planet Coaster. I was playing the game since pre-release, and I do love the game. To be completely honest, I'm waiting for Planet Coaster 2. At which point I'll probably have to upgrade my rig because my NVIDIA GTX 1080 in combination with my fairly old processor, it's an i7, but it's one of the early generation Core i7s, I will probably need to enhance my rig at a guess. But it's a nice park. Again, I do like the winter themed parks, even though of course, as I said, the festive season's over. And we're well into January. In fact, February is just right around the corner. And of course, all the parks reopen in March. And in the United Kingdom here, we have a few new rides. I'm a Merlin premium pass holder with my family. So me, my wife and kids, we go to theme parks during peak season fairly regularly, every other weekend. And in the UK, you have Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, and Chessington are the main theme parks. There are a few others that you can go to as well, but they're not Merlin parks. You also have Legoland, which comes under Merlin, so it gives me ideas when I'm walking around. But at the same time, if you were to compare British theme parks to take Disney in Florida, it's the kind of the epitome of theming compared to some of the European parks, of course, which also have very good theming. The UK parks are very lacking in theming. They're kind of just the rides plonked down, bit of theming here and there, but not as immersive as like the Magic Kingdom and Disney Studios, Animal Kingdom, and all the Disney parks, and the Universal parks for that matter. So, interestingly, I wonder what they're going to do with Marvel Land in Universal Islands of Adventure, seeing as I'm presuming they're going to have to change that at some point as Disney owns the rights to Marvel. But Hulk was an amazing roller coaster. Dueling Dragons were fairly cool. The Jurassic Park rider was cool. And hoping to go back in a couple of years. So should give me some brand new ideas for stuff to do. But let's come out of this park. So don't need to. So exit to main menu. Thank you. Now, of course, now we have to wait for the load time. Oh, not too bad today. Okay, so my parks. So another one from my tutorials and everything else. We've got various parks here, but Woburn Escape is one of the main ones. See anything you like. Most of it is in the workshop. So these were all the different things that I've done. But what we will do is we will go to Not Jurassic World, although that's one of my most significantly themed rides in existence. In fact, let's give you a look at this. Let's give you a look at this. This is one of my most viewed video series. So okay, so here we have, this is literally just one ride. There is nothing else here. So this is a Jurassic Park ride. And of course, this was before Jurassic World Evolution came out. So we have a raptor restroom themed on the raptor cage from the original Jurassic Park film, as well as a nice waterfall here off to the side. And then as you come round, you have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and a nice theme. So this is an image literally overlaid onto a rock, along with all the additional scenery, 94 objects in total, and a projection screen. We have some more, that was a staff room that I haven't finished theming yet. So we also have like some Jurassic Park themed stuff. Okay, so quite a bit of stuff here. Let's go on the ride itself and let you watch. So here we go. This should depart fairly quickly, hopefully. Welcome to Jurassic World. Okay, now the ride itself, as you can see, you don't see a huge amount of what's going on around you, but the station building on the outside is heavily themed, and as we go through, the things that you missed. So there's a Triceratops there, but as you can see, there is the genetically modified monstrosity from Jurassic World. And it's not Endoraptor, I've actually forgotten its name off the top of my head. Then, of course, we crash through the classic Jurassic Park fence, along with a Jurassic Park Jeep. Now, these blueprints were created by other people, which are all commented on the tutorial and video series that I've done for this. So again, we've got a comms tower. Over here, you've got the raptor cage, again with the entrance and the tower. Now this is a blueprint that I have edited and customized to make it look like the ruined visitor center from Jurassic World. So stripped out the roof panels, added some vegetation, and basically made it look overrun and damaged because it had been abandoned for a significant period of time. And we also here have it's annoying me that I can't remember the name of it, and I know it's not Indoraptor. Indominus, isn't it? That's it, it's Indominus. I could just make out the words there where it's overgrown, and here you can see the signs fallen down for Indominus Rex, and of course the gates have been long since left open. And you have some additional Jurassic Park fence here, which would have been the enclosure, as well as an entrance, a kind of a viewing dome there. And then you go back through the secure fencing into the end of the ride. And that was my Jurassic World production that I done. Again, that's on the workshop, I do believe, from memory. And also you can see how I went about and made all of this within my previous video series. So if you want to have a look at that and how I done all of this, do feel free to watch those videos. Now, let's go to Woburn Escape, which is my main park. And before we do that, what I will do is let's drop the master volume down for park music to 40%. Okay, so my parks and Woburn Escape. Resume. Now this may take a while to load. Okay, so last time I saved it was in the Halloween area by the looks of it. Okay, so let's skip back. I'm pretty sure I've rigged the time on this as well. Okay, so let's put this into daylight, shall we? So at 4 p.m. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so Woburn Escape. Now this is where I got my featured content creation when they released the adventure pack with all the jungle theme stuff, but we'll go there shortly. So Woburn Escape, to those of you not in the United Kingdom, Woburn, as a fellow creator pointed out, was something that was also local to him. There is a safari park, and that's what I kind of based just the title on, Woburn Escape. So it's a theme park next to the safari park, in my mind anyway. So outside the park itself, we have some coffee, some pizza. You can pick up your mementos if you forgot to get them while you're in the park, as well as an outside seating area. And again, this is quite heavily themed, as you can see. So I've put in lots of nice pretty flowers and bushes, and there goes the kids coaster, which is around the initial area. So this is the outside of the park. Again, a nice little rockery here. So this was a custom creation that I'd done. And as you can see, these are each individual pieces that have been blended together to make the solid text. So it pops out, Woburn Escape, and then you go through the entranceway. So here we come into the opening esplanade, where you have all of the initial things. So ATMs, of course, essential if you've gone, oh my goodness gracious me, I've left all my cash at home. Well, at least the ATM's there. Oh, many guests are thirsty. So you've got your toilets, you've got all of your facilities just as you get into the park. We have a nice little fountain here that I created, along with all of the nice flowers around the edge and the lily pads. So as you come in, you have a nice pleasant view. Again, some nice trees here with some simple shrubbery and a wooden board around the outside edges. And these are all sunken pieces. As you can see, the fence is buried 80% under the ground, but it makes a nice log kind of edging to the stone areas of the path. Now, you've got your first ride. Again, it's a kiddie ride. So the swinging chairs, simple theming. In fact, it's probably not very highly rated. Note 27% because I never got around to finishing that. And then we come to the first main ride of the park, which is Dragon's Quest, I think I called it. Journey of the Dragon. So let's go for a ride. We're on the initial climb here, I think. And there we go, Journey of the Dragon. So as you can see, it neatly ties in with this whole central area that you come into in the park, which was the idea. I wanted to closely integrate it with everything. Now, I put in these custom supports before custom supports were even a thing. So I manually put in the tree post with the 3 individual beams underneath, so the steel beams, 3 of them, to create the custom supports. And that was before we were able to create custom supports. So this was back when you had to do stuff yourself and try and work out how to do it. Again, some nice villagey area here for another kiddies ride, and a nice waterfall backing that up for the ride. Again, with the nice plants and the lily pads and the waterfall and all this nice theming around it. Then we go to the custom bridge that I created for the entering of or exiting of that castle area. So again, nice little custom bridge that I created. And then of course we depart the initial area, and there are 2 further areas that I've done. So let's fly all the way over here, and we have this nice waterfall here that I created. That's a alligator snapping out. And as you go down to the viewpoint for your photo, there's a nice boat pontoon and a shack, along with some lighting and some Hawaiian torches, and all the vegetation as well around the edges, as well as some random bits of roots and stuff sticking through. Then you go up the top, there's all the vegetation around the edges and the waterfall itself, along with some actual water behind there. So that's the initial waterfall that you see as you start approaching. And it's Adventureland or something like that I was going to call it, because as you can see, we have a blank screen here where as of yet I haven't loaded an image. But I have created the entrance to the area. So you've got another photo zone here where you can obviously take the photo of the truck, and then the other side of the dig site where the chaps are working on it by their camp, and then you go through the entrance into Adventureland. And the first ride you come across, I haven't given this a name either, but this is fairly heavily themed. So as you can see, you've got all the temple rocks and everything built up, crashed plane, and then you go up one temple on one side, which has the snake on it, and then you slide on over to the other side and it's the same, there's a snake. Now the one thing that I would like to be able to do, which I couldn't do, and I doubt you still can, let's go to customize. Yeah, no, see, it's still the same, it's just a genie. I prefer the round car where you're all facing the outside of the circle when it spins, rather than the flying carpet. It was a suggestion I made when I was a featured creator. So all of this jungle here is duplicated sets. So to create this thick jungle effect around the outside, so you can, makes you feel when you're down at ground level like you are in the jungle. So as you turn around, you feel like you're in the depths of the Amazon basin. And then again, you come through another custom construction that I made, so you feel like you're walking through the temple areas. And again, we have a shop here built into the trees. I think that was a blueprint I borrowed from somebody else. And again, we have another one here. And this was a ride that, again, is probably about 50-60% complete. So it's a rocking roller coaster, so it slides from side to side, rocking minecart coaster. But as you go inside here, there's lots of traps and stuff. So as they come through, you've got the ball that drops down, all the timed events. Over here, you've got the blades coming out and the spikes. Just need to finish off the roof of the temple, which is there. No, that was it. Yeah. And then, of course, you come back out the other side. And there's some more stuff that you can go up. I think my frame rate is starting to slow down, but again, oh, that isn't timed right anymore. Were that to do collision damage, all the peeps on the back of that would be dead. Yep, and you've got the blades and the rocks falling down. So again, it's on its way to being finished, but it's not actually finished. Now we have a custom shopping area that I created. So again, kind of that temple-y look. You've got some scaffolding around the outside, some old pillars, and all the rock theming here as well. Nice big open area of path as well. There's actually a couple of areas there where there is no path, you'll notice. But all in all, it looks like a big area, which is nice. Again, it's a pain to link up so much path. The path laying has always been difficult in this game, and you then need to populate gaps. So what I'm going to do now is let's just pause the game briefly, because my frame rate was suffering something chronic there, which all players of Planet Coaster will be aware of. Now again, this ride here, so Cobra Temple Quest, quite heavily themed, so it feels like you're inside a temple as you're on the ride. Again, there is a how I built this ride on my video list, as is this lovely dock that I spent a long time creating. So as we come down, you can see as you're queuing for the ride, you've got all this nice scenery around you, so you're on a proper dock before you go on the ride. There's a sunken ship here. There's a couple of spare boats there, although if you look you can actually see there's water inside there. And again, nice little rowboat. And then you've got this nice dock here with supplies, some fuel, some empty spools. The other half of the boat is over there. And before you come back, you see the nice remnants of a temple on that small island. And then as you go on the boat trip, you come around here, there's a nice hippo that comes out at you, and the alligators. And then you've got a sunken ship, of course, with smoke coming out of it. In fact, let's just hit play again. So there we go. Themed events going on. Then you've got a nice little mini, so you've got some scorpions running around. Nice little mini temple here that I created. And the waterfall with the plane crashed on the top. Again, so some nice story and theming. I'm sure you could come up with an adventurous tale for the boats as they're traveling through. And then they go all the way back through, and then back. There's a couple of crocodiles around. And we also have this, and I specifically created this temple when the pack first came out. So this was my I'm going to build something with the pack on the day it came out. In fact, I think I hammered most of this section out on the day that the pack was released 2 or 3 years ago now, and this was what was featured. I got featured content creator for, was this temple, which was nice of them to feature me for. Took a long time. These are all individual pieces, so building that set of steps. So if we go, I don't think it's a blueprint. No, it's not. Can't select the whole building. That's a shame, because I'll be able to tell you how many pieces were in it then, but it's a lot. Okay, so that was the adventure area of my park. Again, you've got some random like crash planes, another scorpion there, and this itself is a runway. As you can see, there's a plane at the end there ready to taxi down, and that's the crashed one at the end of the runway. So that's the adventure area of the park. Now, as we skip back over, the other area of the park that was completed, or close to completion, is the horror area of the park. So again, this is a custom blueprint. So let's set this now to nighttime. So let's set this to 4 a.m. There we go. So you get the full effect. So again, this whole thing, so 99 pieces, custom creation. It's in my workshop, I think. Multiple shops are very busy. Thank you for telling me. That's always a good thing from a business perspective. Okay, so as you go through, there are crypts on either side. So you can see. And then you come through straight into your Halloween nightmares. Now, this is a custom firework display that I created. Now, let's see if I can enable the firework display. Edit building with selected part. Does that let me? No, 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 done. No, exit. I don't want to create custom parts. What I want to do is enable the firework display, please. Special effects. Cobra Temple Quest, it sounds here. Where are my fireworks? Speakers, videos, special effects sequences. I'd have thought it would have appeared there, but apparently not. Interesting. Well, this is a custom fireworks display. If you wish to see it, it is within my channel. The whole building is part of the blueprint, and it includes the sequenced firework display for your Halloween fireworks. So over here we have a skeleton popping up out of the ground saying hello to everyone, along with lots and lots of crows. You can hear them cawing away. So as you come into the Halloween area, you have your options. You can either go straight on or you can go right. So we will go right. And again, this is another creation. So 409 objects for a haunted house, which again is quite nice. Now, I think Silv created a lot of these that I've used here. So these blueprints. So you come along this walkway, and then you enter a nightmare. So it's a ghost train that goes through and round, again with all the different doors and everything else. Now this was created by somebody else. So let's see if we can. Spooky Bark Gargoyle is not the ride. I want to ride the ride. You can hear the guests on the ride are truly terrified of what's going on. Into the bowels of hell. And there we go. Back to the station. So, that's a fairly well-themed ride, I think. Not too bad. Can't take credit, of course, whereas all of the rest of this stuff I can. So this is, again, custom building I created for some shops. So custom haunted house, see nothing on the back, because you don't need it, because the guests only see the front, although it's not entirely finished. Now, again, all of this nice little area here I created with green theming. And then the ride here, the Witch's Brew. And my piece de resistance would be Black Like the Night. Okay, we're back through, so let's watch it go again. And then we'll show all the theming I've done, and this was one of the first tutorial series I think I'd done within my channel for Planet Coaster, this ride. Okay, letting people on. There we go. And there we are, Black Like the Night. So, quite a tight track. It's fairly well structured. Again, we have a kind of crypt here on the top with some lighting and some trees. And again, the track intertwines and goes round it. Now we have a church here. There we go. And then over here, I do love this blueprint. Again, to see who created it, go to the video where I originally posted this. But this is just amazing scenery for Insanity. It's just lovely. The guy that created it, I mean, 870 objects. It's a work of art. It truly is. I do like this. But that is the Halloween themed area of my park. Do hope you like. That is the main stuff that I'm doing for today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've seen the majority of my creations. I've reviewed some of the stuff I've done in the past. And if you wish anything in particular, do comment on the video. It would be appreciated. Always like feedback. But I think it's time for today's stream to close. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Know It All Gaming. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.